Thank you, Mr. President, my fellow senators, colleagues, friends, and y'all. I just want to say I support this bill because before I came to the Senate, I worked just down the street at the City of Refuge and Gateway working with women, helping them to make a paradigm shift in their life. And one of our biggest challenge was getting them adequate health care, especially after they delivered a newborn. This will help move us in the right direction. We'd like for it one day to go further, maybe include full Medicaid expansion, but I think this is a good bill, and I will vote for it. Thank you very much, Senator from the 11th, for bringing this to us for a vote. I yield the well.
Thank you, Senators. Any other senator wish to speak for or against the measure? The chair sees. For what purpose does the senator from the 36th rise? Would you like to speak? Chair recognizes the senator from the 36th to speak to the measure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I rise in support of this legislation as a longtime member of the Health and Human Services Committee here in the Senate and before that over in the House. We have a very significant advocacy community that delivers services for mothers and children and infants, and also advocates here at the Capitol. And I'd like to recognize their role. Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies in particular, a long-standing, a decades-old organization that has worked for strong policy to support women and children. And they have been active and vocal, all the while providing services to the very populations that they have advocated for here, and have done a wonderful job educating legislators, holding events, reaching out to us, letting us know statistics about our own districts, infant and maternal health, and lifting up the really dreadful statistics that Georgia has had in terms of maternal mortality. We've ranked, I don't know, and I believe the bottom 5 states in the country. The author knows the statistics very well with the medical practice that he's dedicated his life to, and has been someone that has long wanted to see us positively impact those numbers and those statistics. And they're not numbers, they're lives. They're families that are left without their mother, children who will grow up to never know the. Thank you. So it's been very dire consequences that we have dragged our feet in addressing these statistics. There's been a task force from both chambers, along with health professionals and experts. They've worked 8 years. That's a long, gosh darn time to get us to this place in the light of these statistics that we just cannot be proud of. And all of those numbers represent women who lost their lives or greatly diminished their health and their capacity, and they didn't have access to health care coverage in the postpartum period. This is a great leap forward. We used to only give 60 days of coverage. Then some years and a whole lot of work by people who are sitting in this chamber and across the hall and in the advocacy community and health professionals, and we pushed and moved it to a half a year. Now you can vote proudly for this bill that extends Medicaid coverage in the postpartum period for 12 months. A lot of people that aren't that close to the health policy issues don't even realize that how many women die in that period following delivery. And there are particular heart malfunctions that can occur and kill a woman just before you know it. We had a wonderful testimony in our committee the other day from a woman who actually has a mechanical heart assist to address the damage that nearly killed her when she had that condition, that heart condition that for some women follows in the wake of a delivery. So we can all, and our Democratic leader in the committee commented the day that we passed this, that what a positive thing it was to see us come together across party lines and do the right thing, take this step, and invest our money and save lives and stand in the face of people who oftentimes are terribly impoverished, don't even have a ride to get to a doctor, much less the coverage for the doctor services. This is a great step forward in addressing it, and I will follow the comments of the senator from the 33rd who say, what a wonderful day it will be when we truly expand Medicaid to cover those who are left uncovered so that health conditions can be addressed and hospitals and providers can get their reimbursement for the services that they all too often deliver totally uncompensated. Thank you for your attention, and I, of course, urge unanimous support of this bill. Thank you to the author for his leadership over the years, as well as the leader in the committee across the hall who has worked so hard for many years, and the chair of our own health committee. Thank you.
The question is on the adoption of the committee substitute. Is there objection to adoption of the committee substitute? Chair hears none, and the committee substitute is adopted. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which is favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? The chair hears none. The main question is ordered. All those in favor vote yea. Opposed, nay. The secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 54, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed by substitute. Mr. Secretary, can you please read the caption of Senate Bill 342?
Senate Bill 342, a bill by Senators Kirkpatrick of the 32nd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 24 of Title 33 of the OCGA relating to insurance generally so as to provide for annual reporting regarding mental health parity in healthcare plans, to provide definitions, to establish penalties, and for other purposes. The Senate Committee on Insurance and Labor recommends that this bill do pass by a substitute. Respectfully submitted, Senator Byrd, District Chairman. Committee on Insurance and Labor offers the following substitute to Senate Bill 342, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 24 of Title 33 of the OCGA relating to insurance generally so as to provide for annual reporting regarding mental health parity and treatment limitations, including non-quantitative treatment limitations in certain healthcare plans offered in the individual, small group, and large group markets and for other purposes. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 32nd to speak to Senate Bill 342.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow Senators, mental health and substance use disorder are getting a lot of attention this year. Our state already had challenges in this area made worse by the pandemic. There's federal law that requires that mental health services are reimbursed in the same way as medical and surgical services. And this bill, Senate Bill 342, creates a reporting method for insurance companies in our state to submit information to our insurance commissioner's office. The bill does not create a coverage mandate, but allows consumers to have access to information that they need in making decisions about their health care. The commissioner will create a form for information required. The insurance company subject to jurisdiction of the commissioner's office will submit the information for their 5 largest plans by plan type to the commissioner, who will then create an annual summary report by carrier. This information will be posted on the commissioner's website in a readable form that will allow consumers to compare the information between carriers. The insurers will post summary information about their coverage criteria on their websites. This bill gives our insurance commissioner the tools needed to be sure that insurers in our state are following federal requirements on mental health parity. And it also adds transparency for consumers. I work with various stakeholders on this issue and was able to get agreement that this bill provides a good framework for reporting mental health parity. I appreciate the cooperation of Commissioner John King's office as well as representative of the insurance industry. I'd be happy to answer any questions and would ask for your favorable consideration.
You have no questions.
Thank you. I yield the will.
Does any other senator wish to speak for or against the measure? The chair sees none. The question is on the adoption of the committee substitute. Is there objection to adoption of the committee substitute? The chair hears none, and the committee substitute is adopted. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which is favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? The chair hears none, and the main question is ordered. The question is on the passage of the bill by substitute. All those in favor vote yea. Opposed, nay. The secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 48, the nays are 3. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed by substitute. Ms. Secretary, can you please read the caption of Senate Bill 363?
Senate Bill 363 by Senators Tillery of the 19th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 15 of Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the OCGA relating to the Fair Business Practices Act of 1975, so as to provide for class action suits and for damages for violating the requirements of solicitations for corporate filings or employment or labor-related posters or notices and for other purposes. The Senate Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs recommends that this bill do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Senator Walker of the 20th District Chairman. Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs offers the following substitute to Senate Bill 363, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 15 of Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the OCGA relating to Fair Business Practices Act of 1975, so as to provide for class action suits and for damages for violating the requirements of solicitations for corporate filings or for employment or labor-related posters or notices and for other purposes. That's completes the order, Mr. President.
The chair recognizes the senator from the 19th to present Senate Bill 363. And just a gentle reminder that you're the only thing between your colleagues and lunch.
Thank you, Mr. President. I urge your favorable consideration of the bill. Colleagues, thank you so much for allowing me to present Senate Bill 363 to you. You may, if any of you have LLCs or incorporations, you know this time of year you have to renew that LLC or that corporation. It's $50. You pay it to the Secretary of State. You can actually do 3 years at once and pay $150. But some companies in our state have created some would call it a racket, of sending out these notifications. These are just 5 that I saw at my office over the past month that say you have to pay more, and they're very misleading. They look like they're Georgia forms. They look like they came from the Secretary of State's office or the Department of Labor, and say you have to pay $150 or sometimes $85 or sometimes a higher amount. And what those companies do is they pocket the difference. I don't mind them trying to have a business doing that, but 2 years ago we passed a bill in this chamber that said if you're going to do that, you should have listed on the front in 16-point hellevatic font that this is a solicitation, that it's not from the state, that you're not required to pay it, that it's not an official document. I can show you 5 right here that did not do any of those things any single time when they had the opportunity to do it. So what we did is, through working with members in here and then some constituents back home, went back and redrafted that bill to say, hey, there should be some teeth in this. If you don't do that, because of the committee, it's a $200 penalty, and that those penalties can be aggregated to create what we would call a class. Again, this is a do-gooder bill. It's not anything that'll get you reelected back home, but it's something that we ought to do to help protect our citizens from unscrupulous practices of others. Mr. President, if there are no questions, I'll yield the will.
You did a great job and have no questions.
Thank you, Mr. President. I urge your favorable consideration to Senate Bill 363.
Does any other senator wish to speak for or against the measure? The chair sees none. The questions on the adoption of the committee substitute. Is there objection to adoption of the committee sub? Chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which is favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? The chair hears none. The main question is ordered. The questions on the passage of the bill by substitute. All those in favor vote yea. Opposed nay. The secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the self-proclaimed do-gooder bill, the yeas are 51, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed by substitute. The chair would like to recognize the majority leader for a motion.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Tuesday, 8 February 2022.
Mr. Secretary, do you have any announcements?
The Rules Committee will meet immediately upon adjournment today in 4:50. The Judiciary Committee will meet in 307 of the CLOB at 2 p.m. today. The Education and Youth Committee will meet in 307 of the CLOB at 3 p.m. today. All of the committee meetings have been canceled for today. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Does any senator wish to make an announcement? The chair sees none. The majority leader has moved that the Senate stand adjourned until Tuesday, February 8th, 2022 at 10 a.m. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes actually have it. And the Senate stands adjourned.